Hello again, everyone. So I promised you a story, and this story is actually based on the poem that we just did. So remember that one that we just did now about the little child who ripped their pants on the fence? So this story is kind of like that. So there was a mummy, and the mummy had two children, one boy and one girl. And these children were going to a party on Saturday to one of their friends, because these two children are twins, and so they're in the same class at school. And one of their friends is going to have a party. So the mummy bought them each a new outfit to go to this party. And the little girl got a beautiful dress. It was pink with beautiful red and yellow flowers, and it had a little bow that you could tie around the middle of the dress. It really looked very pretty. And she also got a little something for her hair. It was a beautiful headband, also in the same fabric, also like a little bit of pink with some red flowers and a little bit of bow. It was really nice. And the little boy, he also got a new outfit. He got a lovely shirt with some of those straps that come down here, suspenders, and he got some smart pants as well, smart shoes, and he also got a hat that he really wanted. It was a hat like so that had a wide brim, and it had also a little bit of ribboning around the top of the hat. He really looked very smart. So the children were very excited to wear their new outfits, and they said to their mummy, "Mummy, please, can't we just wear them this afternoon as well, just for a little while we go outside and play?" And Mummy said, "Oh no, absolutely not. Those outfits were a lot of money, and if you go outside and play, I know what's going to happen. They are going to get dirty, and you are going to ruin them." Do you know what it means to ruin something? It means to damage it so that it's not nice anymore. So the mummy said, "Absolutely not. You're not going to do that. You're going to have to wear old clothes when you go outside and play." And the children said, "Oh, please, Mommy, please." And they begged and they begged. Mummy said, "Sorry, absolutely not. Don't ask me again now, please. Don't nag. Go outside and play." So the children put on their old clothes and they slowly went down the stairs. And Mummy went to go and start supper. And she said, "I'll call you when supper's ready." And they had a lovely big garden going right out the front of their house. And there was a little bit of fencing as well that they could play on. And there was a little stream as well. The stream had little tiny fish. It wasn't like a river. It was just a little stream. And then there was the boundary fence that would stop anybody from coming in. So the children went down to the bottom of the garden. And then they saw Mummy leave the kitchen, because they could see through the window. They saw she wasn't in the kitchen anymore. So the little boy said, "Oh, let's go and see what Mummy's doing. Maybe we can tiptoe back up to the top of the house and we can quickly try on our clothes and come back down here." "Oh, all right," said the little girl, "let's do that." So they ran up the garden, past the kitchen door. They peeped into the kitchen. No, Mummy wasn't there. So they went and had to go and have a look in the lounge. And there was Mummy lying on the couch with her book. And she was reading. She wasn't even looking at them. So they said, "Okay, let's go." So they ran up the stairs, opened up their cupboards, they took off their old clothes, put on their new clothes. They looked at themselves in the mirror and they thought, "Oh, don't we look nice?" And they snuck slowly back down the stairs quietly, and they went outside. Now, the neighbor living next door, the neighbor was also down there, and he was also a little boy, and then there were two little girls who were his sisters. And they were all also playing there by the river. And they saw the twins and they said, "Wow, you guys, look at those nice clothes. That's amazing. Sure, that must have cost a lot of money." And the twins both said, "Yes, our mommy bought them for us for the party." And the other children said, "Sure, but your mommy's very, very nice to let you wear those clothes to play. Our mommy always says no." And so the twins looked at one another and they said, "Our mommy did actually tell us that we mustn't, but we just quickly put them on." And the other children said, "Oh, you're going to get into trouble." Oh, they said, "What if you mess them up?" And so the twins said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll just be really, really careful." So anyway, the children played, and they played a little bit with the ball. And then the twins decided to go and play on the neighbor's jungle gym. They had a nice jungle gym with swings and a slide and all of that. So they went a little bit next door. Now, the two gardens, there was no fence that was separating them. They could just run right across. There was no fence that they had to go through. All the gardens were like one. So they went across next door and they played and they played and they played. And the twins decided they were going to go down the slide and they were going to go one after the other. So the one was going to sit and the other one was going to sit with their legs going around that one. So they would go together down the slide. And they said, okay, come, we're going to go. So the boy sat in front and the little girl sat behind, and down they went. And what they didn't realize was that there was a little bit of a nail sticking out at the top of the slide. So as they went down, so the nail caught in the little boy, he was in front, in the little boy's pants, and then they caught in a little bit of the girl's dress. So as they went down, the fabric ripped. Uh-oh. Down, 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 down they went. And when they got to the bottom, they stood up, and there the little boy had a big rip in his pants, and the little girl, her dress was like so. And they looked and they said, oh, new things. What's Mommy going to say? Oh no, oh no. And just at that moment, the neighbor's mommy called them in to go and have their bath. And they said, children, come on, come inside. And the children said, oh, we'd better go. They said, but hang on, our mummy's really good at sewing. Why don't you come with us? We'll see maybe if she can help you to fix it. So the twins said, oh, do you think she could? But she have to be quick because our mommy's going to call us any moment. So they all ran up to the neighbor's mommy, and the children who were the neighbors, they said, Mommy, the twins had an accident on the slide and they accidentally ripped their clothes. Do you think that maybe you could stitch them? And the mommy said, well, yes, of course I can, but twins, why are you wearing such nice clothes to play outside? And the twins just looked down like this. And the mommy said, did your mommy tell you not to? Yes, they said. And now we know why. We're really sorry. Please, could you help us? We don't want to make her upset. She really works so hard for her money and she spent a lot on these outfits. We don't want her to be disappointed with us. And so the mommy said, okay, you come inside. Come and sit here by the fire. They had a little fire going in the fireplace because it was starting to get cold. And they took their clothes off. The little boy just left his shirt on, but he took his pants off and he just had his underwear and he sat there by the fire. The mummy gave them each a blanket as well. The little girl took off her dress and she just also sat in her panty, and there they sat all snuggled up. And the mummy quickly stitched them up. And when she handed it back to them, she said, you can see, it looks as if there was no hole there whatsoever. They said, wow, you're so good at sewing. Our mummy's never going to find out. And so they quickly put on their clothes. They said, thank you so much. And they ran back next door. And they got there just as their mummy was calling them, saying they had to come inside. She says, what are you wearing? And they said, we're really sorry, Mommy. We disobeyed you. We really wanted to, and I know that we weren't supposed to. And she said, I am really disappointed. You went behind my back when I asked you not to, and I explained to you why. How could you do that? And they said, oh, Mommy, please don't be mad. We're sorry. And she said, well, it's just as well that you didn't ruin them and that you didn't make holes in them. Now quickly go and take them off and you hang them outside your cupboard so that they can air. We don't want dirty clothes for the party. Yes, Mommy. So the next day, they thought, we'd better go and do something nice for that neighbor's mommy. She really helped us. So they went down to the river and they picked a beautiful bunch of flowers to go and give her. They went and they knocked on the door. She opened it up and they said, Miss, thank you so very much for helping us yesterday. Our mommy was disappointed with us, but it would have been really even worse if she knew. So that the neighbor said, well, children, I think that you need to tell her the truth, because if you don't, it's almost as bad as lying, and you know that you're keeping a secret from her, and that's not a good secret to keep. Okay, they said, but will you come with us? All right, she says, but I'm not going to say anything. You need to do the talking. All right, they said. So she left her children at home. They were old enough. They could just stay next door, and she took each of the twins by the hand and they went to their house. And they went inside, and the twins' mummy said, "Oh, hello, Jane. It's so nice to see you again. Come inside. What's the matter? Is there anything wrong?" And Jane said, "Well, your twins have got something to tell you." So the twins told her what had happened. And the mummy said, "I knew that that's what had happened, because I looked out of the window and I could see all of you running quickly into the house, and I could see you in your new clothes. And I wondered if that happened. I know that Jane is very good at sewing. She's already helped me when I've got holes in my things before. But I am really glad that you told me the truth. That means a lot to me, so thank you guys." "Okay, Mommy, thank you. And we promise you we won't ever do that again." And the mommy said, "Well, I hope not." And she gave them each a big hug and a kiss, and she sent them upstairs. And she and Jane, they had a good laugh afterwards, and they said, our kids are really good kids after all. A little bit naughty sometimes, but they've got good hearts, and that makes us feel good. And they went their separate ways, and the children learned their lesson. Never ever again did they disobey their mother if she told them not to do something. And they also learned that if they do something wrong, it's important to tell the truth and to apologize. And also to thank people if they help you, like they did with the neighbor, with Jane. They took her a bunch of flowers. So those are really important things that it's good for us to learn. Right? Okay, now everybody, what I'd like you to do is please try and remember that story for me. And in our next video, we're going to go over it, and we're going to see if you can remember. And then we're going to see if we can do a little bit of acting with our bodies and our voices. Okay, bye for now.